Christian Brief Psychoeducation Vocation Program by Courtney Prudhomme. The outline for this presentation will include problem analysis, target population, rationale, logic model, goals and objectives, program design, or program components, flow chart, formative evaluation, summative evaluation, performance measurement, impact program evaluation, budgeting, sources of funding, and concluding remarks. Problem analysis. Nature of the problem. The social problem being addressed in this presentation is vocational dissatisfaction in African American evangelical Christian middle adult males. Meaningfulness in career leads to vocational and life satisfaction. Often, however, many people experience dissatisfaction in their careers, including young adult African American males who are evangelical Christians. The problem is that stagnation can occur in middle adulthood, hindering the growth process that may negatively impact vocational satisfaction. Job dissatisfaction has also been linked to one's self-worth and overall life satisfaction. While many studies have investigated the link or connection between job dissatisfaction and career turnover, this does not negate the broader negative affectivity of feeling stuck. Career dissatisfaction has been defined as a broad issue, and there has been a need for or demand for evidence-based preventative interventions to serve diverse people. While evidence of the relationship between job dissatisfaction and feelings of unhappiness have been established, no such investigation has been conducted using brief psychoeducation Christian interventions on a population of middle adult African American males located within a large urban area in South Texas. Career dissatisfaction has been defined as a broad issue. There is a need and demand for evidence-based preventative interventions to serve this diverse population. Target population. To examine middle adult African American Christian male dissatisfaction, the target population will be in the middle adult age range from 30 to 39. The population will be African Americans living in and born in the United States of America. The target population will be selected from a large urban area of South Texas. A smaller pool of target populations attending the group intervention allows for more in-depth, elaborative responses and experiences with the phenomena, making the content rich and descriptive. The target population will be of African American descent, which is representative of an underrepresented group in the United States. To maintain the applicability of the proposed program, the target population will be confined to the set criteria. Since the selection of this target population will be from a narrowly defined population, the generalizability to other populations will be limited. The targeted population must identify with English as their first language, spoken and written. Random sampling will be used as the method for selecting participants who experience vocational dissatisfaction and meet the designated criteria. In random sampling, participants should mirror or be representative of the targeted population. The target population's experience in the workforce must be currently employed full-time, not including self-employment, working at least 40 hours minimum. The target population included in the study will include middle-income salaried and hourly employees in any type of occupation. The educational experience of the target population will be college degree or higher. The target population must identify as evangelical Christians and must attend religious services at least once a week. That could include church services, Bible study, prayer call. Rationale. The undermined aspect of African American evangelical Christian males' identity as worker has been studied least intently. African American males have been reported as the lesser understood and researched population or group in the United States of America. African American males have faced stereotypes and scrutiny contributing to internal conflicts and their prosaic roles in society. Disassociation of the African American male's identity based on the psychological conviction that one has to assimilate to characteristics of white males. Job dissatisfaction has been shown to have a higher negative impact on one's self-esteem, self-concept, and ability to attain fulfillment. It is important to understand the process of continued professional growth and development when experiencing vocational dissatisfaction and supporting interventions or group development, program development. The generation of one's Christian faith is a vital role in determining one's success and discovering one's potential or ability to develop satisfaction vocationally. Feelings surrounding job satisfaction change throughout the life, and job satisfaction measured over time has been a predictor of future behaviors. Levels of job satisfaction is important to measure since it can predict one's behavior and future. Overall, 41% of Black male and female workers in the United States reported they experienced ethical or racial discrimination in comparison to their white, Asian, and Hispanic counterparts. Black men were more likely than Black women and other ethnic groups to report experiencing discrimination at work due to their ethnicity. Discrimination has been shown to contribute to certain majority groups receiving more advantages and resources, while minority ethnic groups' basic needs have been unmet. Despite the growth of workplace diversity in the United States, African Americans continue to be disadvantaged and led to higher rates of unemployment, poverty, low-income housing. The proposed program is based on the following logic model. Inputs, resources include licensed professional counselor, technology, time, space, money, technology. The process includes short-term brief psychoeducation, Christian group counseling interventions. Outputs include the number of brief Christian psychoeducation groups that are conducted, as well as the number of pre and post surveys completed. Outcomes, number of those who completed group intervention and the number of those who reported improved vocational satisfaction. And the impact, reduction of vocational dissatisfaction, increased job satisfaction, reduction of turnover intention or employee turnover, increased self-efficacy, increased tenure of staff, and increased organizational commitment. Goals. The purpose of this section of the proposed program planning process is to identify goals and objectives. The identified goals and objectives were built upon the previous problem analysis sections. The hope is that Christian brief psychoeducation group interventions will contribute to higher levels of vocational or career satisfaction. The hypothesis is that the intervention will impact a reduction of vocational dissatisfaction, increased job satisfaction, reduction of turnover rates, reduction of turnover intention, increased self-efficacy, increased tenure of staff, and increased organizational commitment. The program plan anticipates that this African American middle adult male population of participants' job satisfaction will improve, given their new understanding of the place of vocation in the Christian life. The goal is that middle adult African American evangelical males' job satisfaction, and life satisfaction will improve due to the group brief psychoeducation Christian intervention. Outcome objectives. The final outcome objective, point 1, is that by 12/24/2025 to increase by 25% the number of middle adult evangelical African American males' participation and completion in group Christian psychoeducation brief intervention groups. Responsibility is the counselor. The second final objective, by December 24th, 2025, to increase by 25% the number of middle adult evangelical African American males reporting improved career or vocational satisfaction as measured by pre-test surveys and post-test surveys. Responsible is the counselor. Outcome objectives. The intermediate outcome objective. 1.1. To conduct 12-group Christian brief psychoeducation interventions in the first year. 1.2. To increase the number of middle adult evangelical African American males' participation in brief Christian psychoeducation intervention groups in the first year. And 2.1 objective, 116 participants receiving the intervention will complete pre and post surveys within the first year. Process objectives and activities. Process objective, to conduct 12-group Christian brief psychoeducation interventions in the first year. In order to achieve this, Activity 1 includes, by January 24, 2025, to recruit at least 8 vocationally dissatisfied male adult evangelicals in the program. Activity 2, by March 24, 2025, to provide at least 3 30 to 45-minute group sessions with a licensed professional counselor in the first quarter of the year. And Activity 3, by March 24, 2025, to conduct 1 pre and 1 post semi-structured interview with each of the 8 participants before and after the intervention. Process Objective 1.2, to increase the number of middle adult evangelical African American male participants in brief Christian psychoeducation intervention groups in the first year. The first activity, or Activity 1, is to increase recruitment on social media platforms with targeted ads. Activity 2, reach out to relevant organizations and communities within the greater Houston area or areas surrounding urban South Texas areas. Activity 3, conduct outreach through local church organizations and Christian religious communities. Process Objective 2.1, 116 participants receiving the intervention will complete pre and post surveys within the first year. In order to obtain this, Activity 1 includes developing a 10-question survey, which includes 5 quantitative questions from the Andrew and Withy Job Satisfaction Questionnaire, as well as 5 additional open-ended qualitative questions will be asked to elicit more elaborative responses from participants and their experiences with vocational dissatisfaction. Activity 2, an initial pre-screen questionnaire will be developed for the recruitment of participants. In Activity 3, percentile increases or decreases in participants' raw scores will then be computed from pre- and post-test surveys. Program design. The program inputs include material resources, none. Facilities required, none. Equipment required, computers, cell phone, email, Zoom application accessibility. Clients. Clients will provide it with pseudonyms. Clients must be middle adult, ages 30 through 39, evangelical Christian African Americans located within a large urban area in South Texas. Middle class salary, full-time employed, commutes to work, excluding self-employment. English as the first written and spoken language. The staff members, which are another part of the input, includes licensed professional counselors who are fully licensed, master's degree obtained, and at least 5 years of experience. And they must also be evangelical Christians. And the time consumption, 30 to 45-minute sessions. Program throughputs. Participant selection is going to be broken down into the following tasks. There will be a set predetermined selection criteria for participants. Participants must complete the pre-screen. Participants will then be selected, and informed consent will be obtained for each ideal participant. Emailed instructions will be sent out to the selected participants. Participants will complete semi-structured interviews. The second half of program throughput includes brief Christian psychoeducation group intervention, which is broken down into the following tasks. There will be a shared Zoom video conference link with all participants. The intervention will be a 30 to 45-minute PowerPoint intervention presented by the counselor. The participant will then complete a follow-up post-semi-structured interview 2 weeks following the intervention, and then termination. If needed, the counselor will provide a referral for additional counseling to the participant. The method of intervention is group psychoeducation. The program intermediate outputs include 30 to 45-minute group sessions. The program final output includes the following. Participants must meet predetermined criteria, completing the pre-screen. Participants must sign informed consent agreement. They must also attend one brief Christian psychoeducation group intervention. And the participant must attend 2 semi-structured interviews, pre and post. Intermediate outcomes. A pre/post assessment, 10-question survey, including the 5-question Andrews and Wheaty job satisfaction questionnaire, in addition to 5 additional open-ended questions. Program final outcomes include a follow-up measurement post-semi-structured interview conducted 2 weeks following the participant's participation in the intervention following termination, document changes at follow-up, comparison of pre and post questionnaire scores, cross comparisons or analyzations of participants' responses, percentile increase or decrease in participants' raw scores will then be computed. The following is a depiction flowchart. First, client completes pre-screen and informed consent. Next, client is selected. Next, client completes the pre-semi-structured interview with the counselor. Client then attends the group intervention. Afterwards, client completes the follow-up post-semi-structured interview 2 weeks following the group intervention and the exit. The following slide is a narrative chart showing more in-depth detail into the process. This management plan portion of the proposed program intends to outline the hoped-for outcomes as it relates to program evaluation. The primary objective of this proposed program will be to examine, of course, how brief Christian psychoeducation group interventions impact vocational dissatisfaction. The second objective will be to examine how African adult male Christians perceive brief psychoeducation group interventions, as well as the impact on their vocational satisfaction. The final objective will be to examine what middle adult male African American Christians' perceptions of their job dissatisfaction is. The program evaluations will take the form of effort, cost, efficiency, outcome, and impact. Discussed here are the processes of formative evaluation. Formative evaluation, or monitoring, is the process of program management that informs when the program design diverges from the primary purpose. Performance measurement is contingent upon feedback data received to outside stakeholders. On the other hand, monitoring is contingent upon feedback data used for continuous program enhancement. Program evaluation becomes useless if the feedback is ignored and never implemented or considered to make necessary changes or refinements. Formative evaluation will be used to gather information surrounding brief psychoeducation, Christian group interventions, and its impact on the participants. First, the formative evaluation will answer if the intervention is being conducted in accordance with this design. Second, it will also answer whether the targeted group is being representative based on the participants. Third, it will answer whether Christian brief intervention services consist as promised in the program design. This evaluation is addressed. The effort evaluation should answer 1. What is the ethnic distribution of participants? 2. Is ethnicity related to the type of problems participants bring to the program? 3. How many group interventions are necessary for job satisfaction and fulfillment? 4. Is web-based Zoom engaging for minority participants? And cost efficiency evaluations should answer 1. What is the cost of 1 unit of brief psychoeducation group services? 2. Is there a relationship between the cost of 1 service unit and African American male participation? 3. What is the amount of time needed between the initial intervention and the final follow-up? And lastly, 4. What is the effectiveness to a 2-week follow-up between interventions and participants' job satisfaction? The summative evaluation is carried out at the end of the program intervention. The summative evaluation is primarily focused on program outcomes and impact. This evaluation highlights the program's overall success and failures. This will be addressed through outcome and impact evaluations as discussed here. Outcome evaluations should answer 1. What is the number of participants who completed the intervention? 2. What is the number of participants who report improved vocational satisfaction? 3. Is there a relationship between brief psychoeducation interventions and vocational satisfaction? 4. Is there a relationship between male vocational dissatisfaction and brief psychoeducation Christian interventions? Impact evaluations should answer the following questions. 1. Is there a reduction of middle adult African American male vocational dissatisfaction? 2. Is there an increase in job satisfaction? 3. Is there a reduction of participant job turnover and tension? 4. Is there a relationship between the intervention and participants' organizational commitment? 5. How does the intervention impact participant self-efficacy? 6. What percent of participants reported improved vocational satisfaction on the Andrews and Wheaty Job Satisfaction Questionnaire? Performance measurement. The measurement tool that will be useful in the evaluation of the proposed program is the Indicators Worksheet Measurement Tool. This tool is simplified and allows programs to strategize or think about quarterly, semi-annual, and annual performance improvement indicators. This type of planning is congruent with the proposed program's quarterly goals and objectives. The layout of the Indicators Worksheet Measurement Tool is simplified and organized. Impact Program Evaluation. The most appropriate design for the proposed program would be a mixed methods design. This is best represented by the single group pre-test and post-test design. Mixed method studies involve a combination of qualitative and quantitative data. Mixed methods are necessary to gain better insights into the program hypothesis and evaluation questions. The primary or foremost leading questions directing the proposed program is 1. How does the intervention impact vocational satisfaction? How do African American males perceive their vocational dissatisfaction? And how do they perceive interventions and the impact on their satisfaction and fulfillment? The primary purpose of a multiple case study or single group pre and post test design is to thoroughly examine the selected participants' lived experience with vocational dissatisfaction. The aim is to understand the participants' unhappiness and the reason for stagnation and to gain nuances of vocational dissatisfaction. These methods will allow the author or allow the researcher to answer those research questions and formulate the research hypothesis. Program budget. The program budget is anticipated based on how much work and activities are needed to achieve the expected results. This is primarily contingent on the units of service provided, resources needed, time. The program budget is also contingent on the number of brief Christian psychoeducation groups that are going to be conducted, or units of service, the number of participants engaging in the program, the number of pre and post surveys completed, marketing strategies required, outreach efforts, personnel costs, operational costs, the cost of program supplies, and additional contingency or emergency funds. Listed above, the total comes out to be $10,000. Sources of funding. Since the program is focused on individuals in the workforce, the proposed program is considering the following sources of funding. Employers. Employers must pay for their employees' time spent in training in order for them to develop and learn new skills. Participants can self-pay to also attend the sessions. Additional resources or sources of funding can be brought in by the Workforce Development Grant, the Employment and Training, and Houston, Texas partners. Concluding remarks surrounding the proposed program. In conclusion, the relationship between religious well-being and job satisfaction has been well established, as well as the gender gap in job satisfaction. Despite the growth and amount of attention given to spiritual theology and job satisfaction or career development, little finding has been uncovered about the related abstract ideas. Although job satisfaction and the correlation between other facets have been researched, studies are very limited regarding the relationship between religious well-being and vocational satisfaction. There is very little evidence as to whether vocational satisfaction differs for middle adult African American evangelical males. Lastly, there is very limited evidence as to whether brief psychoeducation Christian interventions impact vocational satisfaction, especially for evangelical Christian African American males. Thank you.